All right, guys, let's take a look here. So a big reason for this, like I told you, is just to give you a chance to meet some people in the class. Right, and I know some of us really hate that, but get over it. You got to find people. Another big thing is just not to make you feel bad or something, but just to start shaking some rust off. Maybe it's been a while. All these things kind of come up throughout the semester a little bit. So I want to kind of point out to you, hey, this is some stuff you should be able to do relatively decently. Decimal and percent. What the hell does percent mean?
Out of 100.
Out of 100. I love it. What's really weird to me is if I say 7% of Americans, there's obviously more than 100 Americans, right? But some people tend to do problems as if that's what it means. 7% of Americans, all of a sudden you're like worse than Thanos. You've killed off millions of people. You haven't killed half. You've killed way more than half. Right? If you don't get that, you're okay. So how do I convert between the two? Percent means per 100. So go for, here's the kind of a nifty thing you can do. So let's jump down right here. 42.7%. What that really means is 42.7 divided by 100. But God is divided by 100. Our number system is based on 10. Why? Most likely because we have 10 freaking fingers. Right? So that was a very natural way to count. If we had 8 fingers, our number system would look very different. Right? Don't lose the thumbs because then we don't evolve. So, to divide by 100, what's the quick way to do it? Move the decimal twice, right? So converting between decimal and percent involves moving the decimal twice. It's just which direction do you go? So one thing I like to say is if you write DB, decimal percent, in alphabetical order, from decimal to percent you go that way, from percent to decimal you go that way. The percent number will always be bigger than the decimal number because the percent number has not been divided by 100 yet. Let that make sense. Numbers sort of exist on their own. We gave them symbols, sure, but percentages are completely human-made shit. 42.7%, that's not the number. So if I move it twice, which way am I going to move it? The decimal, which way? To the right. It is a percentage. I want to make it a decimal, so I move it that way. To the left. So if I move it twice, bam, bam, it's actually what number? 0.427. That is the number that represents. Let's put a 0 out there just so we don't lose the decimal. All right, we're going to come back to the first row. Don't freak out. What place is that in for a fraction?
Thousands.
Yeah, tenths, hundreds, thousands. So it's 427 over 1,000. Yes, ma'am.
Could you have done 42.7 over 100?
The only problem with that is kind of a big problem, though, is it's not really a fraction. A fraction is the ratio of two whole numbers. So watch this. This is kind of kick-ass. 42.7 over 100. That sucks because it's not a whole number over a whole number. But what can I do with fractions? I can multiply top and bottom by the same thing. What do I multiply to make the decimal move over once? 10. So multiply the bottom by 10. Hey, you got the same shit we did. Yay! So there's a whole other way to do it. Just don't stop with the, you can't have a fractionception kind of thing. You can't have a decimal inside your fraction because it's not really a fraction. You guys kind of with me? Don't feel overly bad. I mean, you know, on the one hand I could say, you should know this shit. This is all shit. But on the other hand, you don't really use it too much anymore. Right? Which sucks. We invented this shit. We were humans. We should be able to do this stuff. I go off on a lot of rants down there, so it just happens when you get older. Now, what's the long way to do this one? This might be the way that you guys did it. Divide, right? I don't really have to do that to this, though. Right? If I multiply top and bottom by 2, I get 6/10. How do I write that as a decimal? Because that's the tenths place. 11. Now, if you do divide 5 into 3, because that's what 3 divided by 5 means, you should get 0.6. Right?
Not 0.60.
0.60 is fine. They're the same. Math doesn't give a shit. Math says 0.6 is the same thing as 0.60. 0.6 is 6/10. What's 0.60? 60 over 100. Doesn't that reduce to 6/10? See how math is like, I don't give a shit. You want to put some extra zeros on there? I'll feel free. Anybody ever take science with significant digits? All right, it's not going to be part of this class. Don't freak out. But in science, it means something a little different. But math is like, it's the same stupid number. What the hell? Everybody good? So if you put 0.60, you're fine. Oh, I just killed Pepsi. Now, how do I change from decimal to percent? I move the decimal once, twice, so that's 60%. Percent number is always bigger than the decimal number. That's a quick check you can do. How is everybody doing so far? Is everybody all right? I know I'm going too slow for some of you. And what I always say is if I'm going too slow, well, if I'm going too fast, slow me down. If I'm going too slow, deal with it. How do I do this next one? What would that be as a fraction? It's the same as the one before it, right?
64 over 1,000.
Yeah, 64 over 1,000. Over here. 64 over 1,000. I really don't care about reducing it right down. Who cares? And as a percentage, what would it become?
6.4.
Good, 6.4%. Just move the decimal once, twice over.
So if we do reduce it, like it's not going to be wrong.
It's going to be fine. You're not going to get a problem like this, by the way.
Okay.
This is a problem from 88, right? But this type of thing will show up in this class. And yeah, in general, if you get a fraction, you reduce it. All right? I just don't care right now. What about this guy? Our brain sort of goes a little wonky on this one. Your brain says, it's already so small, but too damn bad. How do I make it into a decimal? I got to move it back twice. So once, twice. Now it's 0.0003. Poor little dude.
Do you have to put a 0 in front of the decimal?
You don't have to, but the only reason we do in general is so we don't lose the decimal place. Little dot's easy to lose. If you don't, you're not wrong. And what is that as a fraction?
1/3.
You want to see something funny? How many decimal places are there in this one we just did? 3. How many zeros were there on the bottom? 3. Holy shit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 3 over 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Ooh. Why is that? Because that's just the place it's in. It's that far over, so it's in that place. All right, I love it. The decimal in the next one is bigger than 1. So the percentage should be bigger than 100%. Sure enough, you move it over, it's 112%. Just move it one bump. The fraction, there's a few different ways to write it. If you take it from the percentage, it'll be 112 over 100. I don't know why people put 1,000. What's percent mean? Per 100. Period. That's all it could ever mean. So that's 112 over 100. Another way to do it is, I get 1 and, right? 1 and, what's this? 1200s. You guys see how these are the same? 100 times 1 plus 12 is 112 over 100. Everybody cool with that? You guys see that? You all right? You guys okay? All right. And then the last one is the kind of gross one. Let me tell you a little shortcut on this. Does anybody notice? Oh, did you already? Oh, you're still going. Good. You're still. Anybody in the front row? You got to help me. If you see that sucker go dark, it's taking a union break. So just let me know. You don't have to notice this, by the way. You can just divide 16 into 3. I'm sure a lot of you guys did that. You love the fact they didn't let you use a calculator. But one thing about this number specifically, what is 3/4 as a decimal? You guys should know. 0.75. Isn't that half of 3/4? Oh, so you can take 0.75, cut it in half again. That sounds exciting. But, so most of you guys probably try desperately to remember how to do long division. Right? So 16 and 30. Once you get in there twice, it's a neat trick. 16 into 140. 8. And what is that? 128?
Yeah.
And then 7. And that is 120. Oh shit, and a half. What did I do? 7. Is that 112? Yeah, thank you. So that's 80, and then that's 5. 1875. Sweet. So if you took 0.75, cut it in half, that's 0.375. Cut that in half, and that's 0.1875. All right, maybe. That's the thing about math, is it does have flexibility. You have to make it your own thing. You don't just have to live by somebody's rules. There are rules to live within, but they're wider than any teacher probably has made it sound. So you can make math your own thing. So what is that? That's 0.1875. So what is that as a percentage?
18.7.
Bam. Yes. People are coming out of high school nowadays understanding percentages less than ever. It kind of drives me insane because our lives are ruled by percentages. You see them every damn where, and the people have no idea what the shit they mean, right? Anyway, sorry. So in a class of 20 people, there are 3 left-handed people. So what percentage of people are left-handed? How do you set it up? Yeah, the way you'd say it. 3 out of 20. So 3 out of 20. Now how do I make that become 100? Yeah, times 5, so it's 15%. Or you can divide 20 into 3 and eventually get there. You guys with me? A little bit? All right. The next 2, by the way, we are going to take a break once we finish this sheet. Okay? Just in case. You know, like, please, dear God. These next 2 formulas are related to 2 we're going to use. This one is basically right. This one we're not going to use in M. But I didn't want to put Greek shit on here and have you worry about that. But this is basically a formula we're going to use. And one thing we're going to need to do is to be able to solve it for x and make a whole other kind of formula, right? Now, why is it so important to be able to do this? This is one big thing about algebra. Because what is this formula good for? If I know x, m, and s,
Z.
then I can figure out what z is. Well, what if I know z, m, and s? I don't know what x is. Well, you can plug it in, but you can just solve it for it once, and then have that formula just ready to go, and not have to solve every damn time. That's why you have to be able to manipulate variables. That's why, just to make it easier on ourselves, which kind of sounds like a good goal. So how do I do that? What's the first thing I want to do? Yeah, the worst part about this is the stupid denominator. The great thing about solving equations is you can kill shit. I don't like the denominator. Kill it. Die. So on this side I get zs equals, and then the last thing I have to do is, so I get x equals m plus zs, or whatever. You can say zs plus m. Whatever order you put that in, it's fine. Yes, sir. Oh, shit. So, do you agree with me it's 3 over 20, right? 3 out of 20, which means 20 divided into 3. So be really careful. I know that answer should be really, really below 1. Because 3 out of 20 is less than everybody. So it's less than 1, that number. It's top light, bottom heavy. You guys with me? So if you take 3 over 20 and get a number that's bigger than 1, you have done something wrong. Which normally is you've divided the wrong thing. Your brain goes, 20 can't go into 3. It's got to mean the other way around. But we're more sophisticated. We're like, brain, yes it can. It's just a number smaller than 1. That's all. Okay, I like it. What about number 4? 4 sucks. A lot.
Oh wait, what was the final answer?
Oh, sorry. You can have it, you can say x equals zs plus m. You can have x equals sz plus m. Whatever the heck. They're all the same thing, right? Z times s is s times z. M plus sz is sz plus m. Commutivity, you guys remember that property? Look, some of you guys are looking like, Stop. What words are those? All right, so what's the suckiest thing about this one is the letter I'm trying to solve for is not only on the bottom, it's also in a square root. This is a really kind of a nifty thing about math. One of the most important things to know from algebra. It's not what 10 divided by 5 is, but it's related to it. What's 10 divided by 5? That's crazy. What's 10 divided by 2? See how these just switch places? Because 1 divided by a part is the other part. So look, I can just switch places. If this is true, then the square root of n equals zs over e. If this is true, these switch places. How do I, if I multiply by the square root of n and divide by e, I get this. You guys see that? And what's the last thing I have to do is get n, square both sides. Bam. Or you can square each piece individually, however you want to write it. You guys doing all right so far? A little bit? Okay, okay. Hopefully number 5 wasn't too evil. How do you find the average of those? Add them all up. And what do you get when you add them all up?
You get 2.
39.
Yeah.
And divide it by 5. Now watch this. You guys know a trick about 5 divided by 5 is you double 39 and then you move the decimal back once. Why? Because if I double top and bottom, it's divided by 10. And divided by 10 just means to move the decimal back. What's twice 39? 78, and then move the decimal back 1, 7.8. Done. Next. Right? I think we are becoming so dependent on calculators, and there's a thought that we need to free our brains up to do more advanced shit. No, but you have to know how to do stuff like that, and then you're able to do things so much quicker yourself. Anyway, sorry. Again. Rant. Sorry. Why does this answer make sense? If you got 18, why would that be bad? If your average was 18. It's bigger than all the frickin' numbers, right? All right, good. Ryan, what's up?
I need to do the normal math center.
Oh yeah, cool. So Ryan's from the Math Study Center. He's going to talk to you about that. Big ass.
Oh, I won't go in front of your recording. You got a new phone, I see.
Yeah. Every now and again, you got to.
Yeah, you got to upgrade every once in a while. Hi, my name's Ryan. I work at the Math Study Center. During the intersession, we'll be open from 11 o'clock to 3:30 every day, Monday through Friday this time, which is kind of cool. And you guys are welcome after class to come over to get help. We're located in building, let me write it on the board here for you guys. So,
We're going to come by there tomorrow.
Yeah, I figured as much. By the way, I have taken Jeff before. He's a great teacher. I loved him. Very animated, which is great. No.
Oh, you have to feel like
I did. I took him, and I actually had my wife registered for his class, but she had to drop for personal reasons. But it's okay. Anyway, so our hours are 11 to 3:30 every day, Monday through Friday. And we're located in building 70-112. So that's the Tech Mall, in case you didn't know what building 70 was. And we are, if you walk in the Tech Mall like you're going to go to the library, we're going to be on the left side. You just follow the left wall, you can't miss us. You get infinite, well not infinite, but you get as many visits as you want during this time. You can be there from, if you come there as soon as your class is out, you can be there until we're closed. There's no qualms with that. Okay, stats is, you guys are, I encourage, you guys are all going to do really good. Stats during the intercession, I give you all props. Super massive props, so show some dedication, hard work, and you guys will be fine. Again, come see me. Mark's actually going to be there as well. So you're lucky that normally we only have one tutor, but I think Kathleen is going to have 2 because this is a pretty large stat class. So, any questions? I mean, please come utilize us. And when you do utilize us, if you guys make little tight-knit groups like I used to when I was in class, come to us as a group. Seriously, because if you guys can help each other out, figuring out problems, even if you just want to sit in there and do homework, that's fine. And when you get stuck on something, having us there is like a backup plan. And then you also have Jeff, which is, his office hours are great, and make sure you utilize him. But again, when he's not around, we are. So, well, for the most part. I mean, obviously, he probably is around more because it's the intercession, but...
A little bit.
But anyway, yeah, feel free to use this. We love helping students. I'm doing this because my passion is to help people succeed. So please, again, 100% free, no cost to you. Last note is if you're not comfortable with our situation, you don't like the Math Study Center for whatever reason, you want one-on-one, like long time tutoring, you feel free to go upstairs and make an appointment. I think you get 30 minutes a session.
Are they open in the intercession? We're going to find out tomorrow.
I'm just reading the script that I'm told I have to read.
I'm with you.
I have to modify it a little bit because obviously we're not open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So, but yeah, feel free. Come in. I want to help you guys succeed, okay? All right.
Cool.
No questions, right? Cool. See you guys later, probably.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Ryan was a really good student, by the way. He helped students out in the class, so that is a part of his DNA. So you'll see him and Mark. Mark's good too.
Yeah, you pick me back, I guess.
There you go. I need to save some money. I'm a teacher. We don't have money. It's weird for me to have money in my pocket. All right. So where were we? Everybody good with that last one? We finished that one. This one, I gotta. All right. So I saw a few people doing this using algebra, which kicks ass because algebra is a tool. It totally is. Not in a bad way. It's just one tool you could use. Some problems you don't need algebra, and I understand that. But some of them you do. It's the best way to do it. So I saw somebody saying, what is the grade on the third test? What is it? We don't know yet. Not the answer. I just mean at the beginning of the problem. What's the grade? You have no freaking idea. So in algebra, what do you call it then? X. So what are the 3 grades I'm dealing with? Those 3. How do I find the average? Add them up. Divide by 3, and you get the average. But what is the average that I want? 80. So that's the whole thing about algebra is set up an equation that gets you to where you want to be, solve it so you see what you need to do. So that's kind of like that problem where it's like, how much money does Frank need to put in the bank now so that in 3 years she'll have this? All right, he's got to set the equation, solve it, so he sees what he has to do now to get to where he wants to be. Cool? So now, how the hell do you do this? Yeah, I multiply by 3. And then 81 plus 72 is 153. Got my poor little x dude. Subtract 153, I get 87. Now watch this real quick. Here's my favorite way to do this problem, then we'll take a break. 81, 72, and unknown, right? 81 is 1 above 80. You with me? 72 is 8 below 80. So this has got to be 7 so that it comes out to be, it's got to be 7 above. Do you guys see what I'm saying? 1 above, 8 below. This one's got to be 7 above 80, which is 87, which is the freaking answer. Right? What's the 3 easiest numbers that average to 80? 80, 80, 80. If you make one go up one of the other ones has to go down 1. That's what that process there is utilizing. That's what I mean by making math your own, is realizing shit like that and saying, that's nice over there, I'm going to do it this way. I love it. This is not algebra class, so I'm not going to penalize you for being a little creative with some stuff. All right. Any questions left over that sheet? Let's take a break. Let's do a 20-minute break. What time is it? So come back at 10:35. Okay.